Welcome back, folks, for one anticipated special. A tribute to a great director. How I let this one slip a number of years ago, I don't know. Man, it made me feel hollow. I need a total recall. It's showtime. Girls and lads, for the Paul Verhoeven special. Now, with so many DVDs in my collection, I can't remember if I got Starship Troopers. Might be in there. It's bugged me that I couldn't have it here today, but I'm going to tell you about it. But let's start with the sci-fi classic. That one contender which went up against the Terminator. It's RoboCop. The goriest sci-fi film. I mean, Paul Verhoeven loved gore. If he directed a slasher or a Saw movie, it would have been the greatest schlock fest ever. Golan and Globus of Canon Films. They made a lot of gnarly movies. Low budget, big on effects, some hokey, some good. Schlock. They were before Paul Verhoeven. Like, he was around for a bit, but he didn't break into the mainstream until he made audiences scream with the RoboCop. And the director's cut, it's visual. Like how Murphy gets gunned down. Like, they don't just show something and cut away, they show everything. One of the thugs, when he's melted in toxic waste, it's funny in a sense because that's his karma, but it's terrifying at the same time. And when the main boss gets the daughter spike through the neck and the Ed 209 scene. When it's on TV, it just shows Ed go bang, 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 bang. But on DVD and Blu-ray, it shows everything behind the scenes of RoboCop. You got the guys doing the squibs. That causes all the things. And the actor who played the unfortunate business guy, afterwards he gets up and he's like all holy and that he's laughing, they're having drinks, they're smoking. They're like, shall we do it again? And he's like, no. Like, that scene is so traumatic. It's upsetting to think, like, the newest unit of police force could glitch out and go AWire. Like, there's a little nod to Terminator. And why RoboCop and Terminator are such big matches and had that big crossover. Because Ed 209 became self-aware. Sure, some say it was programmed to do that at a certain time, but still. You got this major, unstoppable robot who's afraid of stairs. And the stop motion effects on Ed. Awesome. Like, yeah, RoboCop. Sad story about Murphy. He goes back, he tries to remember. They want him to not remember, but yeah, you got some action. Iconic shot there. iconic theme. It's just awesome. The sequel, it's decent. It's a little more comedic than the dark, satirical. The third one's just, it was made for kids to sell action figures. And the action figures are cool. I don't have my RoboCop figure, but I do have my Terminator buddy. If I had my RoboCop figure, they'd be fighting. I could have done a stop motion fight of these two. Like, I could still do, like, maybe, like, here's a picture of RoboCop figure, and yeah, but though the trailer to RoboCop used the Terminator theme. So, yeah, great movie, dark, contemporary, and after a couple of years, we got Total Recall. And what you know, Arnie starred in it. You had Peter Weller in RoboCop 1 and 2. And then, it references the Terminator, and then the Terminator himself is in a Paul Verhoeven movie. Even Arnie's surprised. This film, it's got gore, it's got Sharon Stone, who we see in Basic Instinct, who we'd see in Basic Instinct. A really good thriller. But Total Recall, awesome sci-fi. It's got the three boob lady. It's got all the mutants of Mars. It's got that ugly scene when they're outside, the eyes are bulging out of their head, and the mask referenced that scene, as did Spawn. And yeah, like the 2 weeks. Android with the crazy 90s, early 90s CGI, like why that wasn't animated, like animatronic, puppetronics, but it still looked great at the time. And see you at the party, Victor, and his arms get ripped off in that stupid annoying taxi cab, and then the scene where he's taking the tracker out of his nose and he's like, yeah, oh, it's gnarly, it's gruesome, it's cool. Then we got that stupid remake with an awesome cast. Kate Beckinsale, Jessica Biel. And we got that awful RoboCop movie with some good cast and some... Why? You remake bad films. You don't remake classics, because they suck. The remakes suck, not the classics. So, yeah, like this, not as gnarly as this. And then, yeah, we got Basic Instinct. Sexy thriller. Michael Douglas. And Sharon Stone. She's a writer. She's a murderer. He's getting attached. She's got a lover. He gets interrogated with that scene.
I told you I didn't do it.
No. Blech. Come on. That. See, that's the type of response Paul Verhoeven wanted. Which is why we got Showgirls. Whoa. Major bomb. Ultimate cult classic. And, I'm gonna cleanse my mind after that image. Yeah, Barbie. Boy, was that a hit and miss. So yeah. Showgirls had rising star Elizabeth Berkley from Saved by the Bell. Her career wasn't saved. Her bell rang out of tune. Showgirls dropped. Loosely based on the erotic, exotic industry. Some actual workers are in there as extras. Paul interviewed a couple and asked he wanted to make it authentic but still have it dramatized and stuff. It's not a great movie. It's got a lot of flesh. There was the male equivalent, like the documentary on Chippendales, and there was other films like it. There was Burlesque, there was Coyote Ugly, but Showgirls. Well, then we got Starship Troopers. Awesome 1997 cult classic with bugs, great effects, campy acting, fair bit of flesh. Paul, he loves his flesh, loves his gore, loves his sex. So, yeah, we got a lot of gore. The brain bug sucking out the guy's brains. You see everything. You see his eyes roll back. His brain's going everywhere. The dizzy getting stabbed, the guy's legs being ripped off, and bugs getting exploded, and bleh. Orange guts, green guts, kabooms, blasts, jokes, miniatures. It's like what Star Wars would have been had Star Wars not came out in the 70s. And then the last hurrah, Hollow Man. Essentially the Invisible Man of the second more successful reboot of the Universal Monsters. We got Bram Stoker's Dracula, we got Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, we got The Mummy, we got this. So yeah, we did get Wolfman later in the 2000s, but yeah, Hollow Man, it's a little bit full on at the end. It's got great effects. It won awards for its realistic effects. The uncut version is a bit darker, especially the hotel scene, that attack scene. When Sebastian attacks his neighbor. There was a sequel, not that great. A couple of good moments, but yeah, Paul's Hollow Man. Awesome. Kevin Bacon was great in that film. He goes crazy. He really plays crazy well. And yeah, so trying to find a way to become visible. And it's just, when he's invisible, yeah, he can do whatever he wants. But he goes nuts. He's stopped in the end. And yeah, so it's sort of tried to get the balance. Like, there's some gore, but not as gory as before. And yeah, there's some nudity in that, but not as extreme. So, yeah, that's like any sequel to a Paul Verhoeven film didn't go so well. Like, we got Basic Instinct 2, and it sucked. So Paul hit home with his first releases. Had he came back for any sequel, they would have done good. He had 2 bombs, which are now iconic cult classics, and that's Showgirls and Starship Troopers. And I'm freaked out with what happened before. So I'll scare you later.